Hey guys, welcome back to the woods. Today I'm just going to be showing you about my everyday carry, my EDC. Now the EDC, everyday carry, for survivalist preppers, those kind of people, is your front line. This is something that every survivalist prepper type person will have. Some form of EDC. They might not have a bag, they might just have some things in their pockets. I just have this little pouch that I carry with me. It's inconspicuous, it's not very big, it's absolutely stuffed. It's super cheap off Amazon, but my everyday carry is tooled from things that I use on a regular basis. There's stuff in here that I use almost daily, all the way up to things that are in here that I hope never have to use. So I'm going to take this open and I'm going to show you all the stuff that I carry in my EDC. Now there is one thing that I carry that isn't in here, and it's my torch. This is an Olight Warrior 2 Mini. So it has various functions. It also has a strobe function if you epilepsy look away. Strobe function as well as a crenulated bezel. Now, this is an amazing tool for nighttime, obviously. If there's a threat at night, obviously you want this up, and the strobe function is extremely good for disorientating somebody. Now, I carry this in a very specific way. The clip on it comes the other way around. I have reversed the clip and I clip it with the lens facing upwards. Now, there's a reason for that. So, I clip it in my pocket, lens upwards, like so, lens upwards. Now, the reason for that is if the lens is facing downwards, like most people put it in the pocket downwards, when you pull it out, it's like this. So if you want to point it at somebody, you have to hold your arm out or have it at this angle. Whereas if I put it with the facing up, when I pull it out of my pocket, if I need to, say, self-defense situation, I pull it out of my pocket that way, it is the right way around, it is that way in my hand. So I can pull it straight up and I've got my defense. So I can still block if there is a threat, if there is an attack. I need to defend myself, keep those elbows high. But I can still, it's still up here, I can see, and I've still got my defence up here. Nice and simple. Right, so let's get into the contents of the pouch. In this front little pouch here, this is my little mobile pharmacy. In here, I keep everything from allergy pills, these are my hay fever pills, dropping stuff, stomach pills. A lot of these are not stuff that I personally take on a day-to-day basis. Painkillers, ibuprofen, paracetamol, there's my in there for stomach issues, there's some anti-acid tablets in that a little bit. So any medication that you take regularly, put it in there, plus generic painkillers, generic allergy pills, this is Claritin, things like that. Now I'm going to go through these in no particular order. One of the first things that I have in here is a set of mini playing cards. Not essential for survival, but me and my partner, my wife, when we're out, you know, we like to play cards. You know, there's a few games we play if we're on a long journey, if we're out, you know, just bored waiting for something. Kills the time, you know. We like a lot of different card games. Very mini set of cards, doesn't take up a lot of room. Kills time, kills boredom, keeps spirits up, you know. With my wife's recently given, well, is pregnant, she's due to give birth any day now. We've been in hospitals a lot, waiting rooms, things like that. Kills some time, nice and easy. Next thing, something every survivor should have, lighter, a way to make fire. So, nothing special, generic over-the-counter lighter. This one is refillable. And I've wrapped it in duct tape. Duct tape, another one of the 10 C's of survival. In my opinion, everyone should carry duct tape every single day. I also carry duct tape in my wallet. Next up, portable charging capabilities. So I have this is a single charge portable charger, and then just the charge lead for it, so that I can keep my phone charged up. Say I have to run somewhere in an emergency, my phone isn't charged up, I can keep it charged no matter where I am. So, generic multi-tool. I used to carry a little knife in there, but I found the multi-tool was better. Cheap, generic, no brand multi-tool. Works well enough. It's got a little knife on there, screwdrivers, little saw, file, obviously pliers, wire cutters. Great for the little day-to-day tasks you might need any of these things for. So yeah, switched out my little knife. Because I live in the UK, I can't carry a fixed blade knife unfortunately, or a large folding knife that locks. So this is about as good as I can carry unfortunately. So there we go. That's my blade as well as other things taken care of in that one. Now, carabiner. Just little nice simple generic carabiner. It's not going to hold my weight, but it's enough for clipping something onto a bag, temporarily, you know, clipping something onto a backpack, clipping something onto my belt. Doesn't weigh much, doesn't take up much space, slides in there nice and easily. Good little thing to carry. Now the next thing is something I hope to never have to use, but it is part of my frontline medical kit, so I always carry, no matter where I go, a tourniquet. This is a Carter Combat Applications tourniquet. You can buy these on Amazon, they're not expensive. Everyone should have medical skills, so I'll go into that a bit more in a minute, but things like being able to stop a catastrophic bleed with like a tourniquet on a limb is something that everyone should be able to know how to do, in my opinion. To go with this, back it up, I also have a chest seal for any puncture wounds to the chest. Oh, that was upside down, sorry. Any puncture wounds to the chest, collapsed lungs, things like that. Unfortunately in the UK we do have a lot of knife crime, so again, hope to never have to use this, but car crash, knife crime, anything like that, chest seal. Up next is a pen with a glass breaker on the end. These are super generic, you'll see these in a lot of cheap survival kits, you get them a lot of places, but the ability to write stuff down, you know, you have to write stuff down a lot in day-to-day life, and never hurts to be able to break some glass or use this for blunt force trauma if you're being attacked by a bear. Definitely not a person, because I can't say that because I live in the UK. Now, this next thing, 2 tampons for multiple reasons. One, I have a wife and a daughter. Secondly, cotton material can be used as bandages, combine it with a duct tape, make a bandage, make a wound dressing. Again, if someone has been stabbed, pack it in there. It is flammable, so if I end up having to, you know, run out into the woods, we have an apocalypse or something, I have cotton material. Again, cotton is one of the 10 C's of survival, so that's one of 10 C's of survival. So it's a medical use, a day-to-day life use if you're a woman, a fire use, great thing to just carry around with you. Next up, emergency foil blanket. Doesn't take up a lot of room. I had to use one of these the other day. I witnessed the car crash. I was just stood there. I was actually getting my car fixed, and then outside the front of the garage there was a car crash. Ran out there, there was a little child. It was starting to go into a bit of shock, so got to keep them warm if someone's going into shock, so wrap the foil blanket around it. So that's why this one's brand new, not even out of the packet, because I had to use the one in here the other day. So I have actually used this in a first aid scenario. The woman and kid were okay, just a bit of shock. She broke her wrist. Now the last thing that I have in here is a bit of backup redundancy for my main torch. This is an Olight Mini. There we go. I don't know if that'll focus on it. Yeah, just a mini Olight, not expensive, but it's actually very bright, so I can use this if I'm out and about and my main torch doesn't work, or say I need to give a light to somebody else so they can use it as well. So that's everything I carry in my everyday carry. You need to tailor your everyday carry to your personal needs. You know, if you have certain medications, certain skills, things like that, you tailor it to your certain. I lied, I was wrong. I was going to say I thought I had something in there. I have these, well, they're kind of like mini Ranger bands. They're just super thick elastic bands in various sizes that I keep in there. Again, temporarily fix stuff to other stuff, similar to a carabiner, all things in place, things like that. Nice and simple. Do I have anything else in there? I keep saying the last thing, but no, that is the last thing. Good job. So, you know, a person's everyday carry should be specific to their skill set, and that leads me into one thing that I want to talk about. Is the most important thing you can carry around with you is skills and knowledge. There is no point having all the gear in the world if one, you don't have the knowledge to use it, and two, you don't have skills to compensate for things you lack. So, first aid skills. Everyone should have first aid skills. Basic first aid, knowing how to perform CPR, knowing how to put someone in the recovery position, knowing how to apply a tourniquet, some traumatic bleed. The best thing you're doing, what you're looking to do in first aid, is just buy someone time. You're not looking to perform surgery, you don't need any of those things. In the UK, the target response time for an ambulance is 8 minutes. You can catastrophically bleed out if you sever an artery in 2 minutes. So you need to buy someone those extra 6 minutes. So you need those skills in order to stem the bleeding. You know, if someone isn't breathing, you need to be able to perform CPR and keep them breathing. If the chain of when someone has a heart attack, if you do CPR, get a defibrillator on them within 5 minutes to get them to an ambulance, the survival rate is actually about 70–80%. If you don't do any of those things, there is no first aid from the time they drop to the time an ambulance gets to them. The survival rate is between 3 and 7%. The second basic skill I think everybody should have is basic self-defense. Now, I'm probably going to annoy a lot of people with this. I used to be a bouncer. I still work in security. I have seen dozens of fights. I've been in physical intervention situations myself. I have manhandled dozens of people. In my opinion, the best things that you can do is basic boxing. Any martial art that teaches you how to throw a good punch. You know, boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, anything that can throw a good punch, and also keep basic self-defense with your hands, defense up, and wrestling. And this is going to really annoy jiu-jitsu people. Pretty useless. If you don't know a takedown and you don't know how to handle someone on the feet, going to the ground is completely useless. So wrestling over jiu-jitsu any day. Don't worry, I've used jiu-jitsu techniques. If someone's kicking off and I've got behind them as a bouncer and I've put them, you know, so cross, rear naked, I have done it. But if someone is facing me, jiu-jitsu, if you can't take them down, completely useless. So wrestling and some form of punch, boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, you know, anything that you can throw a takedown from standing up. And obviously, if there's more than one of them, you don't want to be going to the ground anyway. So any form of martial art where you keep your hands up, box from the feet, blah, 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 things like that. So learn to throw a good punch. 1, 2, you don't need to throw fancy punches. Good old jab, good straight, you'll be fine. You know, good jab, good straight, you'll be all good. Basic takedown, all good. Change your level, shoot in, you know. Obviously, if you're training, you're fighting on concrete, learn takedowns where you don't have to go knee to the floor, unless you're wearing knee pads, which you probably won't be. But avoid going knee to floor if you can, because otherwise you're probably just going to smash your knee in. Third and final skill I think everybody should have, obviously there might be some that I'm just not thinking of right now, is basic motor maintenance. Okay, you should be able to change your own tyre, you should be able to check your oil, check all these basic things on a car. You shouldn't have to get anyone in to do all these things, you know. If you're driving down the street, your tyre pops, you should be able to change your tyre on the side of the road. You should be able to, well, you should have checked your fluid levels before you go on long journeys, things like that anyway, but you should have that stuff with you and be able to perform these basic things just to keep you going, especially in certain situations. You know, if you bust the tyre, you know, you could be looking at hours and hours and hours, and unfortunately people have died in extreme weather situations because they've had to wait a long time for emergency services to get to them because it's been extremely hot or extremely cold, unfortunately. So skills is just as important as the equipment that you carry. So you've seen my equipment, I've talked about the skills that I have. I actually just took a first aid course refresher 2 days ago. I train 3 days a week in a wrestling gym and boxing gym. So skills just as important as equipment, but tailor your equipment to what you use in your day-to-day life. You know, there's no point having equipment that one you don't know how to use or that you will never use, and there's no point carrying loads of excess stuff. My skills and the things that I've got, I can deal with every situation I've come across or every situation I might come across in day-to-day life. So thank you for watching, guys, and have a fantastic day.